One of the key elements that we were trying to balance throughout the process is that we were working with J.J. Abrams, who is, you know, the master and who basically invented the concept of mystery box storytelling, where there is a core idea or question at the heart of it, or a series of questions at the heart of it. One of the sort of key questions was how do you marry the King technique with the Abrams technique?
A lot of it was about figuring out how Stephen King works as a writer, the way he goes into stories, the way he, you know, explicates character, and then mating that with the J.J. Abrams of it, which is, let me entice you with this story and then eventually pay off what that mystery is. I'm in love with what's in this box, and I'm never going to open it, because once I open it, I will have the answer to what's in this box, and that is not as interesting as the question.
Hey, tilt up, Johnny G.
We spent a lot of time thinking about point of view in making this season of television. There are some wild and provocative events that we dramatize. There are some unexplainable events, but it was really important that we access them whenever possible through the subjectivity of our characters.
Part of it started, honestly, with the conception of Bill Skarsgård's character, and really thinking about what it would be to have a character at the heart of a story who you couldn't quite put your finger on.
How's it begun?
As long as that devil walks the streets of Castle Rock, tragedy after tragedy will pile up, men will turn on their own, blood will run in the streets.
Part of what we loved when we were thinking about some of the great, you know, epic villains and characters of Stephen King, the Randall Flaggs of the world, we loved this idea that they were slippery.
You said you'd fucking help her. Why would you say that?
The question is what drives JJ, not the answer. Whereas for Stephen King, the answer is what drives him, not the question. And so it's figuring out a way to synthesize those two things together by posing lots of questions in the beginning of the show and saying, who is Henry Deaver? Who is the kid in the box? What was the hoax in the forest? And then eventually paying it off by the end of saying, here's what it is, because that's the Stephen King of it.
To tell a genre story, a story that involves some really wild and uncanny events, from this crazy Rube Goldberg suicide of a warden that sets the story in motion, to the discovery of an extra prisoner at Shawshank, and what are the implications of that discovery. They're such outlandish events.
What was exciting to us was the idea of sort of taking one of the classic King villains and turning it a little bit on its head, using some of the techniques that JJ had sort of taught all of us along the way in terms of television storytelling.
And action.
Every storyteller will have his or her sort of proclivity, you know, like I like it this way, I like it that way, but I love that there are more than one way.
Never again let him see the light of day.
You know, if we're getting on a road trip from here to New York, there's 100 different ways to go, and they've all got really good food along the way, and they've all got like the giant ball of string or the huge sculpture of butter. You know, there's always gonna be something awesome to see along that route, and you can never take the same way twice, but still get where you're going. The destination being a fundamentally satisfying television experience. And I almost don't want to go there the same way twice.
We have to go to the woods. Why did you ask for me?
What was the name that the kids used to call you? The Black Death?
There is something wrong with that kid.
Young man, who are you?